Need a lift, Wolfpack? I sure hope so, since our next stop is the classic horror saga, Are You Afraid of the Dark? And you know what's scarier than the dark? Trains! Hey, it's still better than rock music and night nurses. The Tale of Train Magic is another one of this show's greatest episodes ever. But believe it or not too many fans pay it the respect it deserves. While it's definitely not the Dead Man's Float or the Night Shift Platinum, I honestly believe this tale should gain more recognition for its excellent mystery, eerie atmosphere, strong character development, incredible use of train sets, and best of all, creating one of this show's most underrated monsters.
That comes later.
Though, getting back on track, I am seriously shocked that the train magic is not regarded as highly as other episodes of this show are, despite being a stupendous ride. This episode was the season 4 finale of the series, but it was also the final story told by Midnight Society alumni Frank, the snarky jerk with a heart of gold, and Tucker's rival, who would sadly move away in the following season. But don't worry, I'm sure the team found a worthy replacement. Oh, right. Well, at least Frank departed on a high note. Or did he? While I'd hardly call Frank my favorite storyteller, he actually doesn't tell us another Dr. Vink plot for once, but rather goes for a heartwarming emotional horror tale instead. And here's why some folks ignore this episode. It's an emotional drama, and not entirely a dark monster nightmare. Most Midnighters prefer the scary stories, and blow-off touchy-feely episodes. Even me. Whenever Are You Afraid of the Dark tales focused on the feels, it almost always gets a low grade from me, since I find them so cheesy and schmaltzy. In fact, a big reason why so many overlook this tale is because of the child drama. I get that the show tried a variety of new content to spice things up, most of it being extraordinarily fun, but horror anthologies trying to achieve crime fans and cutesy moments are usually not grand, and I've disliked a lot of them. FYI, you're watching the cat who hated The Frozen Ghost, The Prisoner's Past, The Room for Rent, and the stupid Quicksilver Quest. So don't take it lightly when I say that for once, a cheesy, heartwarming tale from Are You Afraid of the Dark was surprisingly good. Not just good, but great. I've seriously found a heartwarming episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark that's both eerie and actually touching. I've spent so much time hyping up this alleged masterpiece that you must be curious to try the ride by now. But is this episode really as good as I proclaim? Does it show off the magnificence of this grand horror saga? Was it a worthy wave goodbye to our main man Frank? Is the train magic indeed one of the most timeless classics ever? Or was it a totally off-the-rails train wreck that hasn't survived by now? Time to find out. All aboard! This is our wacky review on the ghostly legend,
The Tale of Train Magic.
So, our episode opens up at a Child's Thomas the Tank Engine set, where we meet our main character, Tim Williamson, a young, shy boy whose conductor father tragically died, so he spends all his time obsessing over trains, as he hopes to be a choo-choo conductor exactly like his dad. Yep, our kid hero not only has a dead parent, but he's burying himself in his love for trains since it's the last shred of anything connected to his lost loving father.
Jesus.
Wow, starting us off on a happy note, aren't we, show? Something that makes Are You Afraid of the Dark so amazing is their skills at writing such deep characters for a silly kid show. For an episode revolving around magic choo-choos, there's some very mature themes and lessons within this. It nearly reminds me of why I love The Haunting Hour so much, since the writing is quite unique. I absolutely love this protagonist instantly, since tackling depression and offering up a wondrous nightmarish adventure is not easy. Yet Tim is lovable enough, and we do feel for him. All Tim wants is his daddy back, but he uses his train lore to escape his bleak reality. However, like most people suffering from depression, his life only down spirals more and more into a mess. Kid needs a shepherd hug. He's so sad that he doesn't even hang out with his big bro anymore, causing a rift between them.
You want to go to the movies with me and the guys later?
Nah, I'm busy.
Yeah, right. Watching the little trains go around in a circle?
So, I can do what I want.
But you don't do anything.
Tim's big brother Hank is kinda a generic idiot bully.
Boo!
At least at first. Hank does receive some growth like his little brother as well, and to be fair, the episode hints that he's only now turning into a jerk against Timmy, since their relationship is souring after their dad died. He's basically dealing with his own feelings over losing their dad too, but in a different way. So, he's an actual idiot bully who changes into a better person.
They do exist.
Unfortunately, that's not for a while.
No!
While picking on Tim, they lose track of their dad's lucky cap, but someone lends a hand.
Hello, Tim.
Who are you?
Ray Lawson's the name. I'm the conductor on the 713. Passes by every night, right here, on track number 1.
This is Ray Lawson, our supernatural presence of the week, and he is an ultra-unsettling ghost conductor with a deadly influence. He's played by Colin Fox, the haunted mask shopkeeper from Goosebumps.
Carly Beth. Have a nice face, Carly Beth.
I need an adult! I need an adult!
So, given his track record, you know that this dude is great at scary characters, with Mr. Lawson being a masterful horror performance, especially since he's kept shrouded in mystery and has this unnerving attitude.
I've had my eye on you. I see you on these tracks every night. You want to be a train man, don't you? You like the watch? Every conductor should have a watch. It's a real beaut, isn't it?
Climb aboard my train, little boy. You're my new friend.
Oh yeah, his laugh didn't sound evil at all.
Colin Fox's acting is some solid entertainment on our trip, as his character packs a ton of spirit. He reaches out to Tim and comforts the boy by telling him that he can be a real train conductor one day, just like him, and like his papa. But before he can explain, the jerk bro pops up, where Ray pulls a Batman and vanishes.
It's been done.
Of course, Hank doesn't believe in no ghosts when Tim tries telling him about the Magic Man, yet Tim seems interested in the job offer. We then cut to Tim hanging out at the train station, where he spends most of his days, since it's where his dad used to work. Plus, he enjoys this episode's whimsical soundtrack.
Generic songs. It shuts up your kids so you can't complain.
I really love the music in this, since it gives you that false sense of safety by implying that, oh, this is going to be a cute episode, before the darkness hits you like a train. Now that's how you do it, Shadow Man. Tim mostly bonds with a train engineer named Cap. No, he's not a terrible replacement for Captain America.
You've got to do better.
Disney. This Cap is actually a family friend who knew Tim's father, and the episode shows us that he's been Tim's new father figure now, as he helps Tim with his wise old sage advice.
We gotta roll, you calling it?
Go on. Father was never late, don't you go start. Go on.
Cap is pretty cool, but he really aids Tim since he hopes to help him move on with his life, as he cares for him like a true friend in need.
He's a saint!
But the next day, guess who creeps up?
Hello.
Hi.
I'm looking for the young conductor from the train station. I believe he lives here.
I'm not weird and creepy. I'm cool and awesome.
Oh yeah, his laugh didn't sound evil at all.
Ugh, this guy is super creepy. What? No way! He said he was cool and awesome! Right. While Cap plays the role of good angel, guiding Tim towards the light, Ray Lawson acts as the bad angel, luring him down the dark side. What makes him even sketchier is how he plays nice towards the kids until we get to that grim turn. Ray Lawson is not a typical psycho killer like most Are You Afraid of the Dark foes, but rather a strategic mastermind who is pulling strings and pretending to care for Tim. But it's all for nefarious purposes. Diabolical. But for now, he gives the kids a gift. A special toy train car that's like nothing they ever had before. But then he vanishes. Uh-oh, I think we all know where this is going. Later, sweet naive Tim enjoys his new toy, but then the magic happens.
Oh yeah, his laugh didn't sound evil at all.
I honestly dig these earthquake effects and the intense build up to the ghost train because Are You Afraid of the Dark really sells a unique teleporting scene. The amount of effort they gave is a shining example of how you should offer up trippy horrors. Not too shabby for a low-budget kid show. Tim arrives on the Soul Train, where he bumps into some rejected Infinity Train OCs, including his buddy Ray Lawson. Ray reveals that he brought him here in order to offer him a job. He wants Tim to become the new conductor of the Silent Hill Express. You see, this train traverses the afterlife, carrying lost souls, and Ray needs a new replacement. Well, purgatory is the only place where you can legally hire a child, but more importantly, Lawson suggests that he could Maybe find his daddy. Tim almost caves in, but hits the brakes on this crazy train, escaping his toy train simulator.
I wouldn't like to be that guy.
Wait a tick. Children with emotional problems, scary ghost conductors, mature morality messages, and a toy train model where anything that happens in the toy set happens in real life? Oh, criminy! This is Toy Train! Yeah, this Are You Afraid of the Dark tale shares a ton of parallels with the Haunting Hours Toy Train episode, possibly influencing the Stine show in many ways. However, I think Are You Afraid of the Dark does have its own edge over it, since our kid heroes are the primary focus rather than the adults. And this show's ghost conductor is much more wicked and intimidating than steampunk Doc Brown, as you'll all see soon enough. But yes, it's true. This episode is Are You Afraid of the Dark's version of Toy Train. Yet will it be as perfect as that jewel? We'll see. Tim tells Cap about all this weirdness, and for once we actually get a useful adult helping out in a horror story. Sweet Celestia, we did it, Wolfpack! We found another useful grown-up in Are You Afraid of the Dark?
They do exist.
Now, Cap doesn't believe Tim at first, but he does realize that it's the real deal.
Maybe it could have been train magic.
What's train magic?
Depends on how you see, Timothy. See, most people look at trains. They don't see nothing but big old machines. Trains got more than that.
It surrounds us. It penetrates us.
Yep, Cap reveals the greatest power of the train system. Their secret power of magic, which only a true master of the trains can wield. But while most use this power for good, some do use it for evil. Gotta admit, comparing trains to the Force is super golden.
Trains got its own language. Sound of wheel on metal, the sharp whistle, the pure song of a bell. See, that's the train speaking, if you know how to listen.
Never before in my 9 lives have I ever understood the deep beauty of trains until now. Cap further explains the ultimate power of trains by showing Tim how conductors use their magic. The Force has lightsabers, wizardry has wands, Green Lanterns have rings, but the conductors have pocket watches.
Nothing has more train magic than the conductor's watch. Because a railroad depends on time. Without time, nothing on the line works right.
So, conductors are time wizards? Of course, they always work on a schedule.
Oh, brother, this guy
is an epic YouTuber who everyone should love and subscribe to. It's here where Cap finally explains who is Ray Lawson. Tim learns that Ray is a ghost, since Mr. Lawson perished himself a long time ago. Years ago, Ray was a newbie conductor who worked on these railways with Cap. However, one day, a tragic accident occurred. You see, Ray Lawson was not a good guy even back then. He never took his job as conductor seriously. Ray only took the position since he loved having a cushy job where he did very little, traveled the world for free, got easy money, and was praised as a hero just for moving train switches around. Lawson was that one guy at work who did little to nothing and just absorbed all the credit. Until one day, when he was supposed to switch his ride's train track, he slacked off on the job, and it indirectly led to a massive train crash, killing himself and everybody on board. So much death and destruction occurred, all because this guy failed to hit his train switch. This collision also happened right at the spot where the Williamsons' house was built on, which explains how the boys can see the ghosts and teleport since they live on the death zone.
You didn't tell me it was built on an Indian burial ground!
But because he disgraced the train magic, Ray Lawson and everyone on his ride who died now have their souls trapped in an ironic hell where they must repeatedly suffer the tragic crash over and over and over again, since their spirits can never rest in peace. It is a divine punishment for Lawson's sins in life. However, Ray has discovered a loophole in this punishment. And to me, this is what makes Ray Lawson a devious villain. Lawson is forced to work as a conductor on board the train where he failed at, but he can escape this hell by passing on his train duties to a new conductor. Ray Lawson is trying to manipulate a depressed child's insecurities in order to weasel his way out of his own karma. And his whole scheme is just him leading Tim into purgatory with a symbolic suicide on the vague chance that the kid can see his lost dead parent again.
You son of a bitch.
This right here is what makes Ray Lawson one of the best, most sick villains this show ever created. He's flat out manipulating a depressed, potentially suicidal child into taking his place in the hell he made, so he can get off completely scot-free for screwing up and killing innocent people. Ray Lawson truly disgusts me in ways that all the 50 killer clowns and demons on this show never could. This guy is straight up twisted. He's essentially an evil, selfish bastard preying on an unwell child, stringing him along on a false promise and the lie of him being a friend, truly trying to comfort him, but secretly using him as a means to an end. He's encouraging a kid to throw his life away to improve his own. While this dude may not be the most visually stunning design foe, he is the most well written. The writing for Mr. Lawson is just so complex and compelling. Ray was a bad apple when he was alive, but becoming a ghost only made him worse, since he's still dodging responsibility for his own failures and dumping them onto someone else. Someone who trusted him and suffering from grief. And in my mind, this makes Ray Lawson one of the most demented Are You Afraid of the Dark antagonists ever, because he's tricking a depressed, possibly suicidal kid into taking his place in hell so he can escape from his own punishment and not face himself. And we see he does it all through fake smiles and charisma, showing no concern for the boy when the chips are down in the grand climax. If that doesn't scream he's evil, then I don't know what will. I can't believe there are actually folks who don't see this dude as the sick monster he really is.
Like, he wants to pass it on. Like, he's like, here, take the watch. I'm going to get a different conductor. I'm going to take this kid, which is completely unfair. This kid hasn't done anything wrong. So maybe he is a jerk in real life. Maybe he did terrible things before this, because if he has that intention. But I think anyone would after so long. They'd be like, I don't care who to pass it off to. I've done this enough. I'm tired of living in this memory of my one mistake. Dick move, but I kind of understand it.
Dude, the jerk is trying to sacrifice a child in hell so he can get out. How does that not strike you as atrocious? Ray Lawson is one of the most twisted enemies here. The toy train he gave the boys at the start is really a port key. It's a Harry Potter port key, and using it in the area where the accident happened allows the user to enter the ghost train, holding the lost souls bound by the train magic. He wanted Tim to have it to join him in his world, so he would have one sucker in and one way out. Ray really has no clue if Tim's dead dad is even on this train. It's all a lie. A trick to get this foolish child to come on board while he steals his life. Every friendly gesture was all a part of his brilliant plan. This makes Ray one of the most evil and smartest villains I have ever enjoyed on this show.
Nolly.
I can't believe nobody ever praises this guy. Ooh, cat, do the killer clown, do the killer clown. Talk about the scary killer clown. What about the guy who wants to pull a Hellraiser? That's like hardcore villainy. How the heck is this guy less popular than the Renegade Virus? This dude is true evil. So evil that Cap sees the bastard's true colors and catches on to his scheme. The old man scares off Tim, warning him to stay away from Lawson and depart from trains forever. Train puns. But Tim's not leaving that easily, as he suspects something's up. Ah, great to see those amateur child sleuthing skills in good horror stories again. Detective Sunset Shimmer would be proud.
Sunset Shimmer, certified detective.
Cap confronts Ray Lawson at the death site, demanding that he leave the boy alone. But Lawson refuses to alter course.
Get on your ghost train and go.
Can't do that.
And I guess the train magic gives you the power to mesmerize.
I told you to leave the boy alone.
Obey me, Wario. I am your master. Mario is your enemy.
Time to board, Cap. I don't need any more passengers, but you can help bring me a new conductor.
Oh yeah, his laugh didn't sound evil at all.
Sorry about that. I did it on purpose.
I love how the show treats the ghost train as an almost mythical setting, truly grants us some dark magic. This train is godlike. He hypnotizes Cap into riding the rails, holding him hostage to force Tim's hand. If Tim wants to ever see his family friend again, then he has to come and get him. Now, some of you might be asking why Ray doesn't just use the magic watch to hypnotize the kid into just accepting the conductor job, rather than doing all this unnecessary scheming. Well, don't you know, train magic can only be passed on if it's willing. To use train magic, one must be aware they wield the train magic. I mean, come on guys, isn't it obvious since Ray keeps trying to pass his watch off to Tim to exchange like a torch?
Nothing has more train magic than a conductor's watch.
You like the watch? Every conductor should have a watch. Here, take it. Then you can be a real conductor, just like me.
Now that's a spicy subtlety. We see that Cap is now a new collectible among the toy train set, as Tim angsts over losing another loved one. Ouch, man, that's harsh. Just when you can't feel sorry enough for Tim, his wise old mentor buddy is trapped by a ghost, his former friend turns out to be a monster, and all this horror occurred because of his mistake. This boy is Nick's most tragic hero. He desperately tries to recruit his big bully bro to help save Cap, but he doesn't believe him, until he sees the train magic. At last, Tim puts it together that there is a way to stop this. They have to use train magic to fight train magic. They can shut down the ghost train by fixing Ray Lawson's mistake, reactivating the correct switch at the time when the crash happened, so it can prevent the karma cycle from repeating, thereby saving the damned souls and allowing the Afterlife Express to move on.
It's worth a shot.
And it may be the only shot we have.
Sadly, Hank refuses to aid his bro, thinking he's nuts. But get this, we actually get a sweet scene. Tim and Hank finally share a heart-to-heart where they put aside their cynicism, get along, and join forces to save their pal.
Hank, I know you think I'm crazy, and maybe I am, but you gotta help me.
Forget it. You're beyond help, lame wad.
I mean it! If we don't do something, Cap is gonna die, and who knows what's gonna happen to me.
Would you listen to yourself? You're cracking up. You gotta get out of this basement. Dad is gone, Tim. This isn't gonna bring him back. Look, I'm just worried about you.
If you're really worried about me, you help me.
You're serious?
Please, Hank.
All right, Timmy, what do you want me to do?
And there you go. We truly get to see two bratty siblings who don't like each other finally bond and make up. In one short moment, we see the bickering siblings show a little humanity and apologize for all bad blood. That's all I ever wanted. This is why I hated on crappy attempts that failed at this. Episodes like Sans, Spores, and especially Mrs. Worthington totally bombed at heartwarming moments like this. They tried and failed to make you like douchey idiot bully siblings with shallow garbage that doesn't redeem them whatsoever, while this episode succeeds at that with one mini scene of the big bro apologizing for being mean and trying to understand his emotionally distraught sibling. This is how you do a touching sibling scene. With a few words, the idiot bully Hank becomes a cool, loving bro, helping Tim in his hour of need. I mean, was it so hard for Mrs. Worthington's awful protagonists to even have a 30-second I'm sorry moment?
Sorry, Cat, but there was just too much plot we couldn't waste.
More important than getting us to like previously dickhead characters?
Yep, we needed speed knitting. The story demands speed knitting.
But this scene was only like a few seconds long. How?
We needed speed knitting, damn it! The story would have fallen apart without speed knitting!
Speaking of speed, Hank races to the abandoned switch to prevent the crash.
I don't know who's crazier, him or me. Hasn't been a train here in 50 years.
Hey, who am I talking to?
Oh boy, if only we had a miniature switchman around. Simultaneously, Tim re-enters the Silent Hill Express to save the captive Cap. The riders welcome him to the party, where Tim finds Cap still mesmerized, but Ray drops in to greet him. Back in the real world, Hank finally sees his bro was right, and hurries to the switch since now he's on a timer. Ray buckles him in for the ride and starts monologuing as he gives Tim his dream job in exchange for his old buddy. Tim's desire to see his father almost compromises himself again as he nearly accepts his dream job of being the new conductor while Ray slowly escapes. Don't let anyone ever say that this tale has no scary moments, because the high stakes in this are excellent. This goofy magic train episode has the heroes shooting a 1-in-a-million chance shot to save their family from a madman's trap and shows a depressed child nearly giving in to the dark. All shown gloriously. You really feel for both our hero and villain here, since you don't want Tim to stay trapped in hell, but it hits so hard since this could also be his only chance to see his dead father, even though he'll lose his life. Plus, if you don't hate Ray Lawson by now, you will hope his smug ass goes down.
Take good care of my, your train.
What a dick. But when it looks like all is lost, Tim hears Cap's words of encouragement, telling Tim to have faith. Where our hero takes a stand and calls Lawson out, while Hank switches the game setting.
Ray Lawson? This is not my train, and we're getting off.
What are you doing?
Looks like Lawson's plans have been derailed.
Yep, they did it. They won. The spell's broken. Everyone lives. They mended the mistake. The heroes survive. And the poor souls stuck on the soul train finally rest in peace. Well, all except for one. You see, Ray Lawson didn't exactly win his happy ending.
He doesn't have a train anymore. He has no watch. He has nothing but these old tracks and the night.
Oh yeah, because Ray Lawson abandoned the train and passed his job on to Tim right when he and Hank magically prevented the loop again, everyone on the train but Ray got to depart it. The souls ascended to the afterlife and the living get to live again, forgiven by the train. However, since Ray dodged responsibility again, he is now forced to walk alone aimlessly, connected to the railways for all eternity. His soul remains bound to the tracks forever, since he threw away his train instead of atoning for his mistake. This is his permanent fate. A ghost doomed to walk the abandoned rails, as a constant reminder that the only person he has to blame for this is himself. Hoo-wee, is that grim? This honestly might be the cruelest fate I've ever seen a bad guy suffer on this show. It's worse than dying. But considering that this guy screwed up at work, got innocent people killed, trapped innocent souls in his mess, and was emotionally manipulating a possibly suicidal child into taking his place in hell instead, yeah, him. He deserved it. You all know it. The dark side of the tracks is with Lawson. And that's the end. Cap thanks them, while Tim tells his loved ones that he's finally letting go of the past and living life. His dad may be gone, but he still has true companions who care for him now, since they make life worth cherishing.
What just happened here?
I think I just got rid of a couple of ghosts.
And that was the sweet conclusion to Are You Afraid of the Dark's wild ride? The Tale of Train Magic. All I have to say is, what an enchanting journey. This is undoubtedly one of this show's brightest gems among their treasure. How do folks not talk about this tale more? Because it was phenomenal. The Tale of Train Magic has such deep storytelling, shockingly mature concepts, eerie settings like the abandoned railway and ghost train, touching emotional moments, trippy effects, unnerving horrors, a battle of life and death, and best of all, really compelling characters. Ray Lawson and Tim Williamson are two fantastic main characters who mirror each other perfectly and teach us a rather profound lesson over facing your issues. When you really think about it, these two are not so different. Ray, Lawson, and Tim were both broken by a traumatic event which changed their lives forever. Ray Lawson causing his death accident, and Tim losing his heroic father. Both of them tried to ignore their soul-crushing trauma by avoiding everything. Ray tried to run away from his failures, while Tim hid behind his train love. However, both took different paths when they were ultimately forced to face the harsh reality. Ray refused to own up to his faults, dumped his problems onto another, and grew into an even worse person than he already was. Lawson didn't want to fix his mistakes or himself. He refused to atone, and in the end, he paid the price for it. Meanwhile, Tim pushed his close friends and family away, nearly giving into his depression by almost choosing death. However, Tim saw the effects this was having on his loved ones. He and his brother drifted apart, and Cap almost died for him. Our kid hero sees that his choices affected others, and unlike Ray, he wanted to atone for them. Tim learned that he always had people who cared for him, and accepted that his conductor dreams were unhealthy. He faced his mistakes, chose life, and lets go of his past because he had others who loved him. Unlike Ray Lawson, who was not liked by anyone, Tim had Cap and Hank who showed him that they did care and were only helping him let go of his dad's memory so he can carry it on through living.
So Tim learned about two kinds of magic. Train magic. And the kind of magic that happens between brothers and friends.
That really hits me where I live.
While the train magic doesn't have a big bad ghoul jumping out at the kids, it contains an ultra-deep narrative about how grief can be just as deadly as any creature of the shadows. How refusing to own up to your mistakes can turn you into a monster. How holding on to faith is something that can salvage your soul. And how letting go of your past is difficult, yet it helps grant you the closure you need. These are astounding traits in a horror story for people of all ages to admire. There's the amazing train and spirit world for the kids, yet a charming lesson and deepness for adults. Just incredible. Naturally, all these themes and plot points are given through a magical story, which still holds up wonderfully well. I am amazed at how great this episode still looks by today. Not only is this episode Are You Afraid of the Dark's version of Toy Train, but in many ways, it's superior. The ghost train is visually haunting, the effects are quite decent, the unsettling atmosphere and bleak mood add to the nightmares, and the narrative has some very detailed magic which gets better and better the more I rewatched it for this review. But if you've been paying attention, then you know my highest praise is the villain Ray Lawson. Oh, putrid Pyron, this guy is one demented monster. I truly believe he is the most underrated villain of Are You Afraid of the Dark because he was a divine antagonist driving this madness. I love to hate him so much that he might be on my favorite foes list.
Nolly.
Overall, this episode is perfection, not just as a silly Are You Afraid of the Dark tale, but as a supernatural ghost story overall. Congrats, Frank, your final thrill ride was totally a delightful, sparkling light at the end of a dark tunnel. So, I grant The Tale of Train Magic a gold skull and a perfect score. 10 out of 10, a beautiful masterpiece. I can't imagine anyone hating this episode, since it's the definition of locomotive. Fantastic characters, epic use of trains, creative imagination, gripping tension, noise effects, and a jaw-droppingly powerful story. The Tale of Train Magic is a fun journey that'll really whisk you off the rails. I'm your host, Catastrophe, and I declare this meeting of the Midnight Society closed. See ya at the next stop.
Climb aboard my train, little boy.